The revival of Nokia seems like a long and arduous one, focused on competing at the top tier to win back consumers with high-grade components and a unique operating system to give a seldom found originality. Where they actually find their footing is in the midfield with the Lumia 710, the baby brother of the Lumia 800. It gives a swift, smooth experience familiar with high-end phones, but with a few notable compromises to save a pretty penny. Let's take a look. As a first-time smartphone buyer, the Lumia 710's build would seem quite good, and it is a solid phone. As a returning customer, however, I am quick to notice the thickness of this device, almost out of place in this current market. But its major detractor for me is the obvious visual distinction between the 710's front panel and the rear soft touch casing. Fortunately, this isn't reiterated when holding the device, and this seam is integrated into the well-rounded, pebble-shaped body. There is no expensive polycarbonate unibody in this design, but the front and sides have an attractive high-gloss finish. This time around, Nokia opted for one long physical button rather than capacitive touch that offers 3 inputs. The spacing of these inputs allowed for no inaccurate button presses and undue frustration, and the bulk of the inputs have been shifted to the top end of the device. It is a little odd to find the micro USB charging port at the top of a phone. However, the only other inputs are found on the right hand side with volume control and camera quick launch and shutter. It's an odd situation. The inputs don't negatively impose on the design, but this means they don't protrude far enough to give ease of use sometimes, particularly when trying to focus a photo. The phone comes in black or white, and the rear panel can be interchanged for a selection of vibrant colours to give a personalised feel. Where the 710 didn't cheapen itself was in specifications, housing a gut full of the same power the Lumia 800 does. The same fluid experience is transcended across the price bracket, which is almost unseen in comparable mid-range Android devices. Nokia needs to be commended for offering the same user experience across all of its range, and makes for a very compelling purchasing argument. Gaming was a dream as well, with the GPU handling every conceivable task without jitter. The battery can last a full day of light use, but task it with an onerously productive one and you won't see it through. But it is only slightly worse off than the top tier Lumia 800. You will be short on storage with only 8GB available and no ability to add more like other phones in this price bracket, but this is where Windows wants you using their SkyDrive cloud-based storage application. Call quality was some of the best around, and I was truly taken back by not feeling hindered by the phone's processor capabilities like I have with others in this price range. There is no Super AMOLED display here, which was no shock, instead opting for a 3.7-inch TFT LCD with WVGA resolution. It features Nokia's clear black display, and while offering reasonable brightness and good resolution, it certainly was lacking quality viewing angles, which I was frequently reminded of, and most colours felt a little off by comparison. This is exacerbated somewhat by the high contrast style of the Windows operating system, but something I come to expect at a greater quality in any phone. It was extremely responsive though, melding beautifully with the aforementioned processor power. Being so familiar with Android and iOS, it is certainly appeasing that Nokia offers the uniqueness of the Windows Phone OS. It's a lovely operating system and runs fantastic on mid-range specs. The live tile UI is certainly original, and its form and function overall make for a fluid experience that feels free-flowing. My favourite thing about Nokia and their relationship with Windows is that they delicately attempt to give a dynamic, personalised experience that is expressive at the same time. From vibrant theme colours and case choices through to the embedded integration of social networking accounts and email, the 710 builds a sense of connection between your phone and your digital identity. While the same experience can be offered by other providers through dedicated apps, you can't hold enough value for a brand that offers this experience natively. My only criticism in the UI design is that sometimes apps meld into one another when they simply adopt the theme colour rather than a unique icon design, and no ability to apply a custom background can leave the application index feeling a little barren. But you do get a full suite of Windows Phone and Nokia developed applications that are robust and deliver a productive experience. Microsoft Office is a clear bonus here. Xbox Live compatibility is certain to attract the gaming crowd, but key applications like Nokia Maps and Drive that are powered by Navtech are powerful tools to compete eagerly in this market. The browser is a little slow by comparison to others, but about right for a Windows Phone. It seems a little pointless to have a dedicated launch button, but hey, it's there and it loads quickly. Running multiple sites isn't as easy as Android and iOS browsers, as it requires an extra step to get the page back that you want, and the same goes for multitasking in general. The back button allows for quick return to a previous page, but holding it down opens the multitasking panel that only houses the previous 5 operations. And closing out of an application and reopening them tends to restart that application, which slows down the experience. Music and video are delivered with ease on the Lumia 710, and Nokia even provided in-house solutions to streaming it across DLNA devices. Storage is the obvious sticking point here when on the go, but the fundamental decision to omit a front-facing camera is what shocked me the most. No face-to-face chat makes for a dull experience, and the quality of the 5-megapixel rear-facing camera, while on par with competitive offerings, was uncharacteristically low budget for a company that usually boasts its optics. The overall package of the Nokia Lumia 710 is an impressive one, particularly when you are generally faced with a challenging decision with mid-range Android smartphones of where to accept the compromise. But fortunately, the Windows OS aids for a frustration-free user experience, and the fundamental elements, while often a little lower quality, were adequate not to dampen the mood. The value for money is definitely apparent, but the lack of front-facing camera is likely to not appeal to some. It was the closest I feel a company has come to delivering a top-tier experience on a budget, and one that I'm excited to see develop in time with future Nokia devices through the adoption of Windows Phone 8. This has been Kurt from KABOOtech. See you soon.